occupied!
Resistance is justified!
Is 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 occupied!
Resistance is justified!
I've come from Doncaster, come with my sister and my brother-in-law. We come to every march we possibly can, and it's just been a wonderful, empowering, uplifting march, because you also can get a bit down, and then when we come here we realise that there's amazing, passionate, kind, thoughtful, all different types of people, and it just tops us back up to be able to keep speaking up for Palestine.
Palestine Arabia!
Palestine Arabia!
Palestine Arabia!
Palestine Arabia!
Hurriya! Hurriya!
Hurriya!
Hurriya!
Hurriya!
Palestine Arabia!
Oh, Palestine Arabia!
Palestine Arabia!
Oh, Palestine Arabia!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
I've got a number of different friends groups here, friends groups, family. Depending on what you're feeling, it's here. If you want something a bit more quieter and a bit more chilled, it's literally a few minutes up the road. You want something with a lot of high energy, it's over here. So really and truly, like, it's the main commonality is it's beautiful, peaceful, everyone's so loving, and we're here for each other. Like, you make eye contact with a single person here and you will feel that loving energy, and that's what it's about, and that's what everyone is here for.
I see a lot of love, a lot of care from people. I don't see any hatred like the right-wing government and the right-wing media is trying to say about these people here. You see a lot of children, kids are just worried about what's happening in Gaza, watching the deaths that's happening, and all the women are on the Women's International Day yesterday, and tomorrow is Mother's Day. So we're really worried, and there is a lot of passion.
I'm actually really gutted that the marches are still going on, and are having to still go on. I don't think I was expecting that, but I am also really galvanised by being here, and I think that a lot of horrific people in government, in big media, are trying to tell people that these places are places of violence, and that we're mobs, and that we're extremists, that we're Islamists. Every single time I've come to a protest is where I have felt the safest, where I felt love, where I felt solidarity, allyship, and diversity. Like, there's not a single time that I've come to a protest and seen any of that violence.
We're here near the American embassy. Did you get near the embassy?
Yeah, we got past it. Yeah.
And it's a big crowd, do you think, today?
Yes, it's pretty big. Yeah.
Have you been to a lot of them?
Everyone.
Everyone, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about the way it's turned now, where they're trying to make out this?
It's
sort
just
of
disgusting. I mean,
terror?
to make it it's a no-go zone for Jews, is absurd. Really, it's just a tactic. Yeah, I mean, who are they frightened? Who are people frightened of? I've seen dogs. I've seen old people. It's just a smear. It's a calumny. It's looking for an excuse. I mean, I've never seen anything more good-natured than these demonstrations. The numbers are massive, really. I mean, look now. Still people coming. Started supposedly at 12. It's nearly 4 o'clock. So it's amazing, really.
And what you did in your Christmas
Thank you for that. Yeah.
was amazing. But the thing that struck me most was you say they lie.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about Israel is I can't get over what you said is so true. When you hear their lies, it's just unbelievable.
Well, really, if you want to advocate for Israel, the only honest thing you can say is, yes, this is an apartheid state. Yes, we want to ethnically cleanse all Palestinians from all. But that's the only honest thing you can say. Everything else is a lie. If you say, I'm an ethno-fascist racist, then you're telling the truth. If you say anything else, you're lying. We're going to hold an inquiry. They killed themselves. It's bullshit.
And all the politicians are kind of adopting their lies. It's like they've kind of poisoned the whole thing, haven't
It's
they?
a profoundly dangerous point that we're at, I think. I think that this genocide is really revealing the power for what it is, but also that means that they have to fight harder to suppress that knowledge, both through the media and physically by, I think, attempting to ban these marches. I think.
Do you think there's any hope the left can get together and topple the two parties?
Well, it'd be nice. I think that, there is a space that opens up where there should be a group of independent MPs that will challenge in the next parliament. I think that the political parties that are founded should not just be parliamentary parties, but should ally that with community campaigns. They should work, waste dumps or toxic sewage or schools or whatever. But at the same time, they should campaign for parliamentary seats as well, because I think that's the only way that you're going to be taken seriously politically. But I think there does seem to be a space opening up for that, an alliance of independent parties. And
will you be supporting Andrew Feinstein?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I'll be right there. I hope to be the power behind the throne, pulling the strings.
This peaceful, beautiful, diverse movement stands in a long British tradition of democratic, peaceful protest with a lower arrest rate than Glastonbury. I want to remind them, and they don't call Glastonbury as something in charge by Islamists. This movement, look around you, consists of people from all of our communities, old and young, black, Asian, white, Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Hindu. And what these Tories are saying is ludicrous and must be challenged, especially by our media. And it's worse than that. They are using Islamophobia to demonize Palestine solidarity. It is shameful, and we should call it out for what it is. It is Islamophobia.
Thank you very much for being here today. The day after International Women's Day, we are here in solidarity with the women of Gaza. Just imagine what it's like, that people are starving, that you can't get medical treatment, that your children are dying. And Joe Biden, what has he said? That in 2 months' time, he will build a port to provide aid. How many people are going to be dead in 2 months' time? And isn't it amazing that it takes him 2 months to do that, but he can send weapons to Israel every single day? Every single day, Israel is getting weapons from the United States. It is getting shells, it is getting tank ammunition, it is getting Buster bunker bombs. And we are here at the US Embassy saying enough is enough.
Jewish communities are very divided right now, and anyone who tells you we speak with one voice is lying. We never ever have. Last week, the Evening Standard said all Jews live in fear. As a second-generation Jew from an immigrant family who has lived in Walthamstow nearly 40 years, I'd like to tell the editors of the Standard that the only time I have felt threatened as a Jew in Britain is when we visit rural parts of the country covered in St. George's flags. Both anti-Semitism and Islamophobia are on the rise in the UK, but this place, right here now, is the safest place to be a Jew.
In February, as we know, Labour manipulated House of Commons procedures to pretend that they had progressive policies on Gaza. What I wonder is, why did it take Labour so long to start calling for a ceasefire? How many deaths was enough? Clearly 20,000 deaths back in December wasn't enough. On International Women's Day yesterday, I wondered how could women politicians of all parties, but particularly Labour, not call for a ceasefire? How could they stand by while women in Gaza had their houses bombed, had to evacuate and move across Gaza, first to hospitals and schools to avoid bombs, then when they were bombed, to tents? Did they not think of the women of Gaza who had no running water and had to share toilets with hundreds of people when they were menstruating? The women of Gaza who didn't have menstrual pads and had to make them out of any rags they could find? The women of Gaza who gave up food so their children could eat, but then ended up unable to breastfeed their babies? The women of Gaza who then couldn't find infant formula, or if they could, didn't have clean water to mix it with, or a fire to boil water so it was safe? How did it take until 30,000 people had died, 15,000 women and girls, for Labour to start calling for a ceasefire? I have been part of many period poverty events with Labour politicians. I've organised reproductive rights events with Labour politicians. Do the women of Gaza not have human rights? How can the Labour politicians ignore the humanity of the women of Gaza? I say shame on them! Shame on them!
Sisters and brothers, now more than ever, it is crucial that we continue protesting. We are meeting at a time when our political establishment is troubled more by peaceful protesters over a genocide. The world in which we live in is not an equal one, and we can all see it. And yesterday we marked International Women's Day, and we saw politicians, journalists, intellectuals, the chattering classes all stood in unison to comfort one another about the great strides women have made. What they really mean is the progress of only some women, because quite frankly, only some women count. They will support Israel as it kills Palestinian women, starves their children, bombs their homes, dismembers their bodies and destroys their healthcare system. But then they'll wish you a happy International Women's Day. Their celebration is not for all women. It's for a selective few. It's for those they deem worthy, not for those who look like me, certainly not for the women of Gaza, and not for those who are Muslim, brown or foreign. We are not counted. Our humanity is not equal to theirs. Over 9,000 women have been brutally murdered in cold blood in Gaza, a femicide of the 21st century. Yet, they do not count. There's not a single maternity unit operating across Gaza today. There has been a 300% increase in miscarriages. Women in Gaza have to endure cesarean births without anesthesia, and they are forced to give birth in tents or public bathrooms. Where are the feminists who talk of equality and justice? Silent! They are silent because these are the wrong kinds of women who are being killed in multitudes. Our struggle is more than a struggle against settler colonialism. It is also against a pernicious narrative that seeks to develop a hierarchy of humans. Ukrainians deserve humanity rightly, but we Palestinians do not. But I am here to assert that we do count. We are living, breathing, thinking human beings. We, the Palestinians, do not seek acknowledgement from those lacking in humanity. Our deaths, the deaths of our women and everyone will be counted. So I am here to tell you that we are going to change the course of history, even if they hate it. As you know, I am standing to be the next independent candidate for Ilford North, where I grew up. My campaign is to give a voice to all those who for so long have been neglected by a party that has lost touch with the lives of the ordinary people that I live with. To give a voice to all those that live in this unjust world, a world that has been created by the very governments that today have failed Palestinians in Gaza. I know they will label our even as extreme. I know they will continue to demonise our protests for peace as hate marches. I know Sunak will use our movement to fight his culture wars, but we will not stop until the stories of Palestinian women, children and men are heard. Their deaths will not be in vain. We will not let those in power get away with this. I, for one, will not back down, and I believe in your unwavering commitment as well. We will keep marching for a permanent ceasefire now, however much they try to stop us.
I'm an ex-miner's granddaughter, and I've voted Labour all my life, and I won't be voting Labour. I'll be voting an independent because my Labour, who is Rosie Winterton, is an Israel supporter, and I will not vote for that. No.